Welcome to Cheating on Art. Today we are going to learn a cheater's way of doing mountains. I learned how to do this via the theater, so I learned how to do it in a large scale. I'm going to show you how to do it in a small scale. And the reason I decided to show you guys how to do a cheater's way of doing mountains is I was visiting a friend who was painting, and she mentioned she wanted to do mountains in the background of her painting, but she wasn't very good at doing mountains. So I was like, oh, I'll show you how to do a way of doing mountains. And I never did, and now I feel like a real jerk of a friend. So I'm going to do this video, and hopefully you'll learn something, and hopefully she'll watch it and she will learn it as well. So to do these mountains, what you're going to need is a scrap piece of paper. This is just, it's got printed on it, but I don't need it. You're going to need something to paint on. This is just your standard canvas board that I've already painted a gradient wash of blue on it. So remember, the sky is darker up top than it is down on the bottom. And you're going to need various colors of mountainous colors, like so grays and browns or whatever color mountains you decide you want to do. And for this, to show you that it can be done easily, cheaply, I'm just going to use like your basic craft paint. Okay, so I was actually taught how to do this, these techniques in latex. So you guys can do it in latex paint, you can do it in acrylic paint, it's all basically the same. So to get started, you're going to take your scrap piece of paper and you're going to rip it, okay? So you're going to start from one edge and you're going to rip it. Okay, so you should have a ripped piece of paper like so, and then you're just going to position it however you want on your paper. So we're going to do 2 rolls of mountains. So for the first one, we are just going to do this simple purpley gray color. It's really light because it's the mountains further back, so it's just going to be a basic gray color. So you're just going to paint over top of it, bring it down a little. Alright, and then I'm just going to go ahead and lift it right away. There's your first roll of mountains. Now we're going to let this dry, and then we are going to come back and we're going to do the second roll of mountains. Alright, so once your your back mountains are dry, you're going to take your scrap piece of paper and you're going to rip it again. And you're going to create new mountains. This is random. There's really no science behind it. You're just randomly ripping your paper. Sorry, that was my phone. Alright, now what you're going to do is you're going to find the best place to put your new mountains. Whether you want to cover a lot, you don't, kind of up to you. And if you don't like what you ripped, just go ahead and rip something else. It's really not that big of a deal. And I like that a little bit better. Alright. So what we're going to do is you're going to paint a new mountain. This one's going to be a little bit more detailed than the last one. I'm going to use 3 different colors. I'm using a brown, I think this is antique gold, and white, and I'm going to scumble it together to create a mountain color. So, start with some browns. And I just use the same brush and just going to scumble this together. And we'll add a little bit of white. Maybe add a bit more brown down here. Try to make sure your purple is being covered up. Then maybe add a little bit more white. And then we're going to do some brown right here. And then scumble. Get some white going on here. And do not lift this one because we're going to add more stuff on there, and it's nice to have the paper there to protect it. So just leave it there, and we are going to let this dry. Alright, so now that your second mountain is dry, you are going to come in with it's a really dark blue. I think it's called Midnight. You don't have to use dark blue, but this is what I'm using. And we are going to put some shadowing in it. So what you're going to do is you're going to start like at a peak. And this is just really random. Again, don't think about what you're doing. That's when you get into trouble. And this is going to be a little difficult for me because I'm painting upside down. But you're just going to kind of just twist it around, you know, just so that's one side. I think I might have gone a little too much on that. It's okay. And this one's turning out a little bit better. Okay, and then you're just going to do a little bit over on this side. Alright, I think I might have gone a little too much overboard on that, but then you're going to let this dry, and don't lift it or anything because we're going to come back and do one more thing. Alright? Now that this is almost dry, we're going to move on to the next and last step. So what I did is I took this gray color that we did for the purpley mountains and I watered it down a little bit. And I took some brown, the brown that we use for our mountain, and I watered it down. Then what I did is I just took some string. So I don't know if you can see this. Just took some string, knotted it together in this weird shape. And what you're going to do is you are just going to go and plop it down. I kind of pat it a little. I don't really put a lot of pressure in it. Then you lift it up. And that's really dark so you can't see it. Let me do it over here. Boop. Just plop it down. Lift it up. And it gives you some kind of mountainous texture. So you're just going to do this crossed. Pick it up. See, and this is why we keep the paper on, is so this texture doesn't get onto our other mountains. And if you, so I'm going to add a little bit more right here. Just, okay. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take your lighter gray color. Again, just string that's been randomly knotted. I'm going to do a couple tests. Okay. Okay. And then you're just going to do the light color right on top of your brown. And this is optional if you don't like how it's turning out. It's fine. I think I overdid it a little bit. And then from here, go ahead and lift. And there. Yeah, I overdid the dropping a little bit, but it gives you the idea. I think over here is, but you can always go back and just kind of cover it up again. Kind of mellow it down a little. There you go. Cheater's way of doing some mountains. So hopefully yours turned out better than mine, because mine turned out really gross. But there you go. Hopefully this has helped, and enjoy.